Welcome to our History Channel documentary about the imperialism of Cameroon. Before Germany became protectorate, the Cameroonians really wanted the protectorate for protection reasons. The major ethnic group in Cameroon were the Fulani. They were holy warriors who mostly hunted, but also gathered and farmed for food. They were Muslim. At this point in time, the people wanted their protectorate to protect them in case they needed help. However, once Germany became the protectorate in 1884, their feelings towards Germany began to change. At first, they really liked having a protectorate. Germany had created better infrastructure for them, which led to a better quality of living. They also opened it up to trading by creating ports, roads, bridges, and railroads. This led to a culture mix that helped Cameroon by making more resources available to them. But then Germany began pushing the Cameroonians into small reservations where the land had little nutrients. The land was not big enough for most families to live off of, forcing many of them to work on the plantations that Germany had established on their old land. In modern-day Cameroon, a typical family has 5 to 6 children. A family's main goal is to have children, and the birth of a child is celebrated for days. It is the job of the whole village to look after and care for children. People have many children because they want to be sure that they will have surviving children. If relatives are having trouble having children, it is common to give one of their own away so that the family will have a child. Polygamy is common in Cameroon, but is becoming less and less practiced, as are arranged marriages. Divorce is uncommon, but is becoming better accepted, since most people live with their extended family. Before they marry or make any significant changes in their lives, they consider their extended family and how it will affect them. For example, if the marriage isn't working out, the people may stay together just because of the benefits it has to the rest of the family. In addition to this, men are hunters and gather meat. Women harvest crops and children collect firewood and water. Respect for elders and ancestors is stressed highly, and children are also taught respect for all.
Cameroon began as a country which exported its agricultural products and other natural resources. Up until Germany initiated a protectorate, their system for collecting goods and distributing them was very premature. At this time, their main goods of export were cocoa, coffee, timber, and wooden carvings located in the southern plateau. The Germans declared a protectorate over Cameroon due to its immense supply of natural resources. The local administration of Cameroon was mainly built up of commercial companies. In 1868, one of the first German commercial companies to establish the warehouse in Cameroon was the Warman Company of Hamburg. Their company was built on the Wari River. Cameroon earned a profit on bananas, rubber, palm oil, and cocoa with the help of plantations and forced labor. When the French inherited part of Cameroon, it resulted in rapid economic development. In British Cameroon, products such as cocoa, coffee, and bananas were produced in large numbers. Throughout all of the changes of power, the country of Cameroon inherited new technology, such as roads, plantations, and bridges, which overall allowed them to trade more efficiently. Cameroon currently depends on exporting its products and raw materials. This makes its economy very unpredictable and dependable on the global economy. In the 1980s, a worldwide recession resulted in a drop of export prices, leading Cameroon into a recession as well. Cameroon has embarked on various IMF and World Bank programs designed to spur business investments and ultimately result in an increase of economic stability. However, Cameroon's economy is still very unstable to this day. Cameroon's exports are coffee, cocoa, cotton, rubber, bananas, oilseed, grains, fruit starches, livestock, timber, petroleum production and refining, aluminum production, food processing, light consumer goods, textiles, lumber, and materials for ship repair.
Cameroon was first contacted in the early 19th century by the American and English missionaries who were trying to gain land for colonization. But the first foreign nation to claim Cameroon as its own was Germany. Germany became the official protectorate of Cameroon in 1884 after Bismarck decided to establish an empire in Africa. Gustave Nachtigal arrived in Cameroon in 1884 to make a treaty with one of the local kings. Nachtigal annexed the region for the German Empire, and within a year a council was appointed and a governor was elected. Unfortunately, the years of colonization turned sour very quickly because local leaders wanted to receive some of the imports they expected from Germany. Chiefs against the Germans attacked neighboring converted villages and tore down German flags. At the Berlin Conference of 1884–85, France and Britain expressed interests on the coast of Africa, and 10 years later, frontiers are agreed with the British Nigeria to the west and the French Equatorial Africa to the east of Cameroon. When World War I breaks out in 1914, aligning France and Britain against Germany, the two German colonies on the Gulf of Guinea are in an impossible situation. Germany is forced to give up its land to its enemies because both Togoland and Cameroon are sandwiched between British and French colonies. The two allies unofficially divide Togo and Cameroon between them by the proximity to their existing colonies. Through a series of mandates that are granted by the League of Nations in 1922, this division is made official. The British are to control the smaller share. The remaining Central Territory becomes a new French colony known as French Cameroon. When independence is granted in 1960, Cameroonians had to vote whether they were to remain a part of Britain or France. This decision was made by the ruling party, the Cameroon National Union, and it chose to remain within the French community because the French held more land and subsequently more power. Cameroon became a de facto one-party state in 1966 and was dominated by the Cameroon National Union. Amadou Ahidjo, the leader of the Cameroon National Union, became the first president in 1960, and he was forced to rule while civil war raged between the National Union and supporters of a more radical party. He played a key role in Cameroon's development, and gradually, through brute force, the civil war was won by the government. The government replaced the original federal structure in 1972 by a unified republic. Ahidjo ruled for a period of 22 years, and then he handed in his term of presidency in 1982 to a successor of his choice, Paul Biya.
Initially, the Atlantic slave trade was most popular in Cameroon, but the trade of goods such as palm oil and rubber soon became more popular. Diseases traveled along with foreigners and led to the discovery of the medicine quinine used to prevent malaria. The Islamic religion also spread with trade, and by 1870, Christianity arrived. This added to the traditional religions of Cameroon. When German explorer Gustave Nachtigal claimed Cameroon in 1884, he came in at Douala Coast. At that time, Germany was the protectorate and had to deal with challenging African traders, though they liked the advancing promise of trade. Starting on the outside of the country, Germany was slowly able to use their colonial power to overcome Africa's trade monopoly. Germany then used Cameroon's land for business and agriculture. They set up large plantations and estates where they grew tropical produce to bring back to Germany. This required agricultural tools and handiwork. Jobs such as working in an estate were highly valued, as work was hard to find. The system set up by the Germans was harsh, and many people died while working for them in Cameroon. After imperialism, World War II prevented a lot of advance in technology for Cameroon. But while they were ruled by the French, they had more advantages in agriculture and healthcare than when they were ruled by the British. Agriculture in Cameroon provided Europe with nearly all the materials it needed for industries, indirectly contributing to the industrialization of Europe. In 1961, France helped in the violent unification of the British and French Cameroons. After the unification, problems didn't stop. In 1986, Lake Nyos gave off poisonous gases, killing 2,000 people. Today, turmoil rates in Cameroon are one of the highest in the world. Organizations are helping to make Cameroon and its people become more modern. They have projects in a wide variety of categories, including schooling, computers, and automobile departments. Cameroon is not at all in a good condition, but they do have a very high literacy rate for an African country, and are taking steps toward becoming a better place.